Good morning. Sorry for the delay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom. May peace be upon us. It's a beautiful morning today. How are we? Good. I hope everybody's great. Happy, full of blessings, and ready to start the day. So we'll be talking about the collaboration of Global Interfaith Rainforest Initiative for Climate Actions. So aside from big major stakeholders with the power and capital to work with the climate crisis, there is this multi-faith alliance that brings moral urgency and faith-based leadership to global efforts to halt and reverse tropical deforestation. It is Interfaith Rainforest Initiative, or in short, IRI. IRI has launched Faithful Forests Declaration and Action Agenda to mobilize new leadership, commitment, and momentum on global climate issue. So the question, can faith leaders be part of the key player in rainforest protection in finding climate justice? Can they lead the efforts of divesting from environmentally harming investment towards impactful investment? To start the discussion, I will invite all the speakers to please be on stage, being the first one. He is the National Facilitator IRI Indonesia, Bapak Wahyu Prabowo. We have also invited National Facilitator from IRI Colombia, Blanca Echeverry. National Facilitator from IRI Peru, Laura Vargas. And we're still waiting for Carlos Vicente from Brazil to join us, but he will be here when he's here. And to host or to lead the session, let's welcome Gabriel Labate. He's the head of Climate Mitigation Unit from UNEP as the moderator for the session. It's all yours, Gabriel.
Hello, perfect. Welcome, good morning to all of you. And first of all, thank you very much to the Indonesian government for letting us use your house today. This is the event of the Interfaith Rainforest Initiative. And I have with me distinguished speakers, all of them directors of the IRI country programs. I will briefly introduce this session to re-emphasize the importance of dialogue with audiences that do not always speak the language that people like me, I come from UNEP, the UN Environment Program, that we use. Language of science, language of numbers, language of facts. The innovation of this project is to talk to people in a language that they can feel closer to their heart, which is the language of belief, is the language of religion, is the language of understanding things that are right and things that are wrong. And that's something that IRI does in an outstanding manner, reaching out to communities all over the world. So with that, I would like to start the event and to welcome Dr. Wahyu Prabowo. He is the IRI country director of Indonesia with a very, very long trajectory and experience in reaching out to the religious community in Indonesia on issues of environment and sustainable development. So with that, Dr. Prabowo, the floor is all yours. Sorry, we have something before that. I forgot. We have, as an introduction, we have an outstanding video that I would like I would ask our colleagues in the room to provide us. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Inger Anderson, Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Programme. Tropical deforestation is among the most urgent challenges of our time. Now more than ever, we need leadership and influence of the world's religions to halt and reverse tropical deforestation. The Interfaith Rainforest Initiative is showing us that there is more commitment across faiths to achieve this goal. We invite all leaders, organizations, and networks of faith around the world to please join us in this mission to protect our future. And now, United Nations Messenger of Peace, Dr. Jane Goodall, to tell us more.
Rainforests, ecological marvels, millions of years in the making. Rainforests provide water, food, and livelihoods for billions of people around the world. They contain a staggering diversity of life. They create the oxygen we breathe and regulate our climate. They are our life support system. But rainforests are at grave risk. Every second of every day, an irreplaceable rainforest the size of a football field is destroyed. Powerful economic and political interests are driving their destruction to produce beef, palm oil, and paper, wiping out countless species from existence, marginalizing the poor and deepening inequality, threatening the survival of indigenous communities, and destroying the best solution for climate change that we have. But there is still hope, where a different future awaits us, where faith unites us to make rainforests a shared spiritual priority, where we teach our communities that rainforests are a sacred trust, where we feed a growing planet without converting rainforests, where we work with companies to ensure their products are deforestation-free, and where we make sure that governments protect forests and the rights of indigenous peoples. This is the future where we do what is right. But we need to come together, affirm that protecting rainforests is a moral responsibility for all people of faith, mobilize a movement built on the values we share across our religions and spiritual traditions, stewardship of the earth and care for creation, a respect for human rights and human dignity, social and economic justice. The Interfaith Rainforest Initiative is doing just that. From the Amazon to the Congo Basin to the forests of Southeast Asia, rallying faith communities to act. We must end deforestation because her life depends on it. His life depends on it. Their future depends on it. We all depend on it.
Thanks very much. And with that, it's an honor to introduce you to Dr. Hayu Prabowo. He's chairman of the Natural Resources Board of the Indonesian Council of Ulema, and a person with a very long trajectory in environmental issues and religion. With that, Dr. Prabowo, the floor is all yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Gabriel. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Indonesian Interfaith Rainforest Initiative Indonesia. I'm the national facilitator, and I'm going to deliver mainstreaming forest into religious organization. Okay, so this picture shows the launching of IRI Indonesia in late January 2020, just 1 month before Indonesia closed for COVID. So after this event, we kind of stagnant, but currently we are moving again. So this launching was attended by 200 religious leaders across Indonesia. And as you know that Indonesia has close to 280 million people, and 80% of the population is Muslim. So about more than 200 million of people is Muslim there. And during this launching, attended by 6 major religious council in Indonesia, which is Islam, Christian, Catholic, Hindu, Buddha, and Confucius. And this organization is supported by UNEP in 5 countries, Indonesia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Colombia, Peru, and Brazil. I would like to show the video concerning the IRI Indonesia function and purpose.
Hutan Indonesia adalah keajaiban penciptaan Tuhan. Rumah bagi spesies unik yang tidak ditemukan di tempat lain di bumi ini. Mereka mengatur iklim dan memberi kita makanan, air, obat-obatan, dan memberikan mata pencaharian. Tragisnya, mereka dihancurkan di depan mata kita. Untuk agribisnis, untuk penebangan industri, untuk minyak sawit, dan untuk pertambangan. Ini menciptakan masalah besar bagi orang-orang kami. Ini mempercepat perubahan iklim dan mendorong kepunahan spesies. Ini menyebabkan kerawanan air dan pangan. Ini menghasilkan penyakit seperti coronavirus. Dan ini mengancam masyarakat adat yang telah melestarikan hutan selama beberapa generasi. Tidak ada hutan berarti tidak ada masa depan. Itulah sebabnya kami meluncurkan prakarsa lintas agama untuk hutan tropis di Indonesia untuk membawa kekuatan dan pengaruh pemimpin agama ke dalam perlindungan hutan. Pemimpin agama, masyarakat adat, LSM, Perserikatan Bangsa-Bangsa, ilmuwan, kami adalah koalisi yang bekerja lintas sektor untuk mengakhiri deforestasi. Bagaimana kami bekerja? 1. Kami mendidik dan meningkatkan kesadaran melalui pelatihan dan kampanye. Kami berbagi fakta terbaru tentang hutan, perubahan iklim, dan hak asasi manusia. Dengan cara ini, kami memperlengkapi para pemimpin agama untuk bertindak, untuk memasukkan kepedulian terhadap hutan ke dalam ajaran agama mereka, berbicara di depan umum tentang deforestasi, dan untuk mengumpulkan tempat ibadah mereka untuk bertindak. 2. Kami memobilisasi tindakan di lapangan. Di mana hutan menghadapi ancaman terbesar, kami meluncurkan perwakilan daerah. Masing-masing adalah koalisi pemuka agama yang bekerja bahu-membahu dengan masyarakat adat setempat, ilmuwan, dan LSM dalam rencana aksi untuk melindungi hutan di wilayah itu. Kami aktif dari Papua hingga Papua Barat, Kalimantan Timur ke Riau, dan dari Maluku hingga Aceh. Kami melatih dan memobilisasi ribuan pemimpin agama dan gerakannya terus berkembang. 3. Kami mendukung perubahan dan penegakan kebijakan. Karena menghentikan deforestasi sangat bergantung pada kemauan politik. Kami bertemu dengan wali kota, bupati, anggota dewan daerah, gubernur, anggota parlemen, dan menteri untuk menuntut tindakan. Kami mengadakan debat publik, membuat komitmen dan memantau kemajuan dalam melindungi hutan kami. Pesan kami sederhana, mengadopsi, memenuhi dan memperluas komitmen untuk melindungi hutan Indonesia dan penjaganya. Kami bersaksi untuk mendampingi pembuatan kebijakan lokal dan nasional untuk memastikan keadilan bagi hutan dan masyarakat adat. 4. Kami mempengaruhi sektor swasta. Sebagai komunitas religius, investasi keberagaman kami besar. Kami berinvestasi dengan hati nurani dan kami memberitahu perusahaan di mana kami berdiri. Kami meminta pertanggungjawaban bisnis atas kebijakan dan praktik mereka. Prakarsa lintas agama untuk hutan tropis di Indonesia. Berbeda keyakinan, satu tujuan. Kami membela hutan. Kami mendukung keadilan iklim. Kami mendukung masyarakat adat. Hutan adalah masa depan kita dan waktu untuk bertindak sekarang.
Okay, so in summary, our strategy is that firstly education, secondly is actions, and thirdly is advocation. And fourthly, we would like to mobilize our religious philanthropic funds to support this rainforest protection and climate justice. So firstly, that's, as Gabriel mentioned, that normally what we have done is just scientific approach, which is very difficult to talk to the people, and especially legal one. So on the left side is the kind of scientific work that we have done. So in considering the Indonesia, rainforest of Indonesia, biodiversity, concerning the rainforest, concerning the indigenous people, and concerning the coronavirus. But this very, very technical language. So what we have done is we translate this scientific language into religious language, such that we can talk to the people, the layman people, to understand with heart and mind. Not only heart, but mind, because people need to understand the logical one, why it has to be done, and why God command to do something like that. So we have written 6 set of book, 1 set, so 6 set of book, 1 set for each religions, and 1 set comprises 2 books, which is the firstly is the guidance, and secondly is the sermon or khutbah. So this 12 book, then we disseminate to all local leaders, all religious local leaders, and they can talk with their local people, because Indonesia comprises about 140 languages spread across island, which is Indonesia spread over 6-hour flight from end to end, and we have 17,000 islands, so it's very complicated, and we use this kind of books to educate the local religious leaders. But as we understand, the current youth is not reading; they are just looking at the movie or YouTube. So we also made a video, 5-minute video concerning this education, so that for young people they can understand with their own time and places. And all of this can be downloaded in our website. And these are the 6 regions, chapters, which is Aceh, Riau, East Kalimantan, West Papua, and Papua, Maluku. So we divided into 2 type of regions. One regions being the worst region of deforestation, which is Riau and East Kalimantan, and the rest is kind of very good rainforest, and we need to protect. So those kind of the selection that we use to select these chapters. And in addition to support the education, we also train the environmental journalism workshop. So this, the environmental journalism is not only journalists, but all of the extra relation for each religious organization to be trained, so that they can understand the importance and the issue being faced by their community. So in this training, we aim to promote accurate information dissemination through journalist participation, preventing the spread of misinformation and misconception of environmental issue. And additionally, this workshop expected to enhance the accountability of religious organizations and environmental journalists. Also, on the bottom left, we have started the annual conference of IRI Indonesia. So we started in 2023, and we will continue next year. The aims is to gather diverse perspectives to map a focus of IRI Indonesia program, sharing moral and religious knowledge on rainforest protection. And this mostly is followed by academician of religious one and scientific, not only rainforest, but scientific in the religious teaching, and as well as the religious leaders and community at large. And also we have done also the webinar series. So webinar series talking about faith and rainforest, climate change, indigenous community, and intersectoral collaboration in advocacy for forest Indonesia. This featuring experts and practitioners in their respective fields. Also, we visit the indigenous communities, and we targeted the youth indigenous communities because they are the one who will face the future event. So we have conducted the youth conservation camp, and we attended, their camp, as well that we visit the elders, of course, of the indigenous community, just to understand the issues and their concern of the current development. And also we met we gather NGOs in 6 regions, 6 chapters that we have. It is to avoid the overlapping of program between the IRI provincial section and the NGO. So we build collaboration between NGO and IRI Indonesia such that we can achieve the respective goals of IRI Indonesia and the NGO. As well, we also engage the faith leader with the governmental, legislative, and executive bodies locally and nationally, so we can talk concerning the moral issues and legality of the current rainforest issues. It is to enhance understanding and advocacy for sustainable forestry practices among religious communities. This engagement aims to leverage the moral influence of faith leaders to encourage policy initiatives that promote environmental conservation, responsible forestry management, and the protection of Indonesia's diverse ecosystem. Also, this in the central one, this is the Minister of Vice Ministry of Environment and Forestry. And lastly, that IRI Indonesia policy position is that we would like to promote understanding of the gravity of deforestation and the critical needs for immediate actions. Secondly, we would like to foster communication between scientists and religious community. And thirdly, engage religious leaders and action networks in remote regions as together with the NGOs confronting the severe forest threat. And fourthly, that we would like to champion the adoption of policies and laws that prioritize the protection of the Indonesian rainforest. That's all. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Prabowo. And now is the turn of Blanca Echeverry. She is a human rights lawyer with about 20 years of experience in the Ombudsman Office, where she led the defense of indigenous rights. She is also a national coordinator of the ecumenical program in Colombia for displaced people, and she has been the IRI National Director since the program's inception. So with that, Blanca, it's a pleasure to give you the floor.
Buenas tardes. Buenos días, perdón. Quiero compartir con ustedes la experiencia de IRI Colombia. Hace parte de nuestro consejo asesor 5 instituciones religiosas que representan el 94% de la religión que profesamos los colombianos. Así que nuestro plan de acción ya. Así que nuestro plan de acción empezó requería que fuera regionalizado y que nos permitiera la creación y el fortalecimiento de una plataforma de diálogo interreligioso, cultural y científico sobre la cual se fundamenta la misión de IRI en los municipios más afectados por la deforestación y la consecuente pérdida de biodiversidad. Esta regionalización nos permitió a su vez focalizar acciones de incidencia en las entidades territoriales, priorizar los municipios en donde se instalarán los capítulos locales en función de la dinámica de las tasas de la deforestación.
IRI Colombia's action plan was designed based on the territorial approach, as we needed to obtain a regionalization that would allow us to promote the creation and strengthening of the platform for interreligious, cultural, and scientific dialogue, on which IRI's mission is based on the municipalities most affected by deforestation and consequent loss of biological diversity.
IRI Colombia instaló 42 capítulos en los municipios más amenazados por la deforestación, 14 en centros urbanos y 28 en zonas rurales. Estos capítulos hacen parte los líderes religiosos, los pueblos indígenas, líderes sociales y comunitarios, además de los profesores y representantes de las autoridades locales, para conformar un verdadero movimiento nacional para la protección de la selva amazónica.
IRI Colombia installed 42 chapters in the municipalities most threatened by deforestation, which is 14 in urban centers and 28 in rural areas. These chapters unite religious leaders, indigenous peoples, social and community leaders, teachers, and representative of local authorities in a true national movement for the protection of Amazon rainforest. These chapters have prepared environmental and pastoral action plans to advocate to advance forest conservation and ecosystem restoration, as well as faith-based actions that contribute to mainstreaming the protection of the Amazon as a spiritual priority in religious networks.
Mediante los procesos de formación, hemos capacitado a 14.148 líderes religiosos en temas de bosques, cambio climático, deforestación, teología de la creación, pueblos indígenas e incidencia política a través de procesos de formación presenciales y virtuales.
IRI Colombia has trained more than 40,000 religious leaders on forest, climate change, deforestation, creation theology, indigenous peoples, and advocacy through face-to-face and virtual training processes.
IRI Colombia también tiene una gran campaña, una estrategia de comunicación en donde hemos alcanzado más de 800.000 personas por medio de nuestras redes sociales. Nuestros videos de sensibilización han sido vistos por casi 250.000 personas. Igualmente, nuestras cuñas radiales han sido escuchadas también por casi 250.000 personas.
IRI Colombia has also developed a communication strategy that works transversely to all the activities of the initiative, with the purpose consolidating as a national movement for the protection of tropical forests and defense indigenous people, but also to contribute to fulfillment of initiative mission lines.
La incidencia a nivel nacional, regional y local nos ha permitido establecer una alianza con todo el Congreso de la República, en donde hacemos seguimiento a la agenda legislativa y donde trabajamos directamente con los congresistas. Igualmente, hemos logrado hacer una alianza con los gobernadores y con los alcaldes en los municipios en donde es más alta la deforestación. ¿Ya? Ok, sí.
Okay, so IRI Colombia has an advocacy strategy at the national and municipal levels. Advocacy at the national levels is proposed among other actions to monitor and evaluate the development of the legislative agenda related to matters relevant to the mission purposes of the initiative. Within this framework, we make recommendations on the implementation of nationally determined contribution and the National Development Plan. The consolidation of the Territorial Alliance for the Amazon is part of national advocacy actions. This alliance aims to manage the articulation of the action of the national and territorial authorities of popular election in terms of defense and restoration of the Amazon.
A nivel municipal, logramos que nuestros líderes religiosos participaran en los consejos territoriales de planeación en una forma activa, crítica e independiente para participar directamente en las diversas etapas del ciclo de gestión de políticas públicas.
The advocacy action at the municipal level especially seeks to ensure that IRIS Colombia religious leaders participate actively, critically, and independently in the various stages of management cycle of local public policies related to the protection of tropical forests and the defense of rights of their inhabitants. This ensures that local IRI chapters have the opportunity to make recommendations and influence the implementation of projects associated with deforestation prevention and forest restoration. It is also guaranteed that they can monitor and evaluate compliance with municipal development plans.
Recientemente, IRI Colombia, en Colombia se hicieron elecciones de alcaldes y gobernadores. IRI Colombia llevó a cabo una serie de debates y conversatorios con estos candidatos para examinar los impactos de la deforestación del ecosistema amazónico y la pérdida de biodiversidad producen en estas regiones. Se realizaron 16 debates en los que participaron 9 candidatos a gobernación, 53 candidatos a las alcaldías. A estos encuentros acudieron más de 1.500 personas y fueron vistos por más de 53.000 gracias a las transmisiones en vivo a través de nuestras redes sociales.
Election for mayors and governors were recently held in the country. IRI Colombia conducted a series of debates and discussions with these candidates to examine the impacts that the deforestation of the Amazon ecosystem and the loss of biodiversity produce in their regions, and to analyze the public policy proposals that the candidates propose to adopt and implement in order to mitigate those impacts and to contribute to the achievement of the goals of the national policy for the integrated management of water resources and the national climate change policy. A total of 16 debates were held with the participation of 9 gubernatorial candidates and 53 candidates, mayor candidates. These meetings were attended by more than 1,500 people and were watched by more than 53,000.
Se firmaron acuerdos programáticos con cada uno de los candidatos a las gobernaciones y a las alcaldías que fueron electos, y estos asumieron el compromiso de hacer del cuidado de la selva amazónica constituya una prioridad ética y política de los habitantes de la región y sus autoridades, y de incluir en sus planes de desarrollo estrategias, programas y proyectos que contribuyan a poner fin a la deforestación de la Amazonía y a detener la pérdida de su biodiversidad.
I think I read this one.
It's okay.
Okay.
No, está bien.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Blanca, and thank you, Dr. Prabowo, for helping us with the translation. Very appreciated. Now it's the turn to introduce Laura Echeverri. She is the IRI National Coordinator for Peru with advanced degrees in theology and education, specialization in social sciences, and a distinguished figure in Peru in interreligious issues. With that, Laura.
Thank you so much, dear friends. It's a pleasure to be here. The Interfaith Rainforest Initiative in Peru is a wonderful program with the support and endorsement of the majority of the religious traditions in the country. We have managed to open a fundamental space for dialogue, recognition, and joint work with numerous allies in the protection of the tropical forests and of the indigenous people in our country. We have 53 indigenous nations. The gravity of the moment and the urgency to act to confront the very serious climate emergency that we are experiencing have been a force for action, opening conscience and hearts to respond to it. Without forests, the planet will be a desert. The people and the land cry out for a change. It is a single cry of anguish to stop the suicidal destruction in which we are immersed. Faced with this reality, our faith proposes to us as a key word change. We have to change in lifestyles, changes in our ways of thinking, changes in the way we organize ourselves and relate to each other and to Mother Earth. We cannot continue acting and living in the same way as if nothing is happening. We need radical changes at all levels so that the future will be possible for everyone and especially for the generations to come. We work in that sense for a new paradigm, the paradigm of care. The IRI does not work only from a desk. It walks in the middle of the people, listening to their cries and their hopes, looking together for solutions to their serious problems. In these 5 years, we have created 16 local chapters to carry out very direct and concrete work in the regions. Because the time is very short, I go straight to the most important aspects of our work. We work in electoral dialogues. In each electoral process that we had, we organize electoral dialogue with our allies so that the competing candidates tell the district, region, or the country what their policies will be in relation to the care of nation and especially the forest and indigenous people in order to later demand their compliance. In this way, we believe we are building environmental citizenship. Also, we accompany our indigenous communities, influencing local, regional, and national policies is a central aspect of advocacy and is one of our objectives, along with raising awareness of reality and mobilization. Because as the saying goes, what is not known does not exist. We have established a very good relation with some of the ministries in the country and also with the presidency of the Republic. And we believe that it is very important to build bridges of understanding and open the doors for laws that will be of benefit for our forests and for the indigenous peoples. In that sense, we work with the Ministry of Justice the creation of a mechanism to defend and protect environmental defenders, because the reality of the indigenous peoples is very painful and there's a lot of aggression against their ancestral rights to the land. Also, we have formed a pact for the Amazon. 2 years ago, we launched this pact for the Amazon and its healthy forests to promote an agenda of dialogue with different sectors to promote a healthy Amazon, because we believe if we have a healthy Amazon, we are going to have a healthy society. It was signed, this pact for the Amazon, for more than 100 institutions and personalities, and we were able to promote a series of dialogues on key issues for the Amazon, inviting in each case a religious leader, an indigenous leader, a religious leader, an indigenous leader, and a businessman or a decision-making person. With a pact, we were able to open an interesting space for debate around the major problems of the Amazon. The second experience that is also very interesting is the Parliamentary Front for the Amazon, which is a plural space of congressmen and congresswomen from the different regions of the country to put the very situation we're going through on the congressional agenda. We believe that this front has been very important in preventing a law against the Piazzi people. They are the indigenous people in voluntary isolation and initial contact from being approved, because this law wanted to erase the Piazzi people from the map. 7 bishops of the Amazon, or that means all of them, presented a document that we prepared to express a rejection of that law, the possibility of having that norm, because it was so contrary to the life and to the interests of the indigenous people, and also against the forest, because what they wanted to do was erase the Piazzi people so that they can enter into their territories that are care territories, and they can extract all the richness that they have in their lands. These are some of the things that we're trying to do. Thank you very much for hearing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura. An impressive work. And now is the turn of Carlos Vicente, the National Coordinator of the IRI program in Brazil. Carlos is a forestry engineer with a very long trajectory in forestry matters. He has held positions at the state level, in Acre, in the forestry program, and he then also went to the federal government to be director of the forestry program of Brazil. And he also has experience in the legislative arm of government, being an advisor on forestry issues. He is the director of the IRI national program. Carlos, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share some ideas with you. Thank you, Mr. Hayu, for inviting us to stay here, and our colleagues. I make a very short speech. I think in addition about our colleagues share with you, I think in Brazil we have a very challenging situation. We have most than 90% of the population are religious, but the majority of our leaders, religions, are not engaged in climate change and forest protection, and they have a lot of power to influence people, because the protection of the nature is a value present in all kinds of religions, and they have a lot of powerful to influence people, to engage people, but they need to be engaged too before. So we are trying to implement two main strategies to create this awareness, and one of them is scientific dialogue between religion leaders and science. And until now, we had 100% of success. 100% of the religious leaders that participate in this scientific immersion became engaged. It is a huge and important result, and it brings us a lot of happiness, because Brazil, as the other country, are facing very high rates of deforestation and violation against indigenous and local communities' rights. So the other strategy that I would like to present to you comes with an invitation. We would like to invite you this afternoon, 4:30, in the UNEP pavilion, to participate in a virtual immersive experience to be inside the rainforest, the Amazon rainforest. We are using the virtual technology to create for the population, for people from the government, the sense of value and importance of the Amazon rainforest. 90% of the Brazilian population live very far from the forest. And for most of them, the forest, the Amazon rainforest, is only an abstraction, even in the same country, because most of people lives in the city. So we are using this technology, and this technology is very efficient, because we made a scientific evaluation. If the result of this very deep emotional experience become an action, and we had this good result. So we would like to invite you to participate, and we can share with you this film, the file of the film, and you can use in your different actions in favor of the climate and in favor of the forest. So we have a lot of other actions, as our colleagues shared with you, but I think it's those different strategies, scientific immersion, and the use of technology to talk to young people and old people too, I think it's a good contribution from Brazil. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Carlos. As you know, Brazil will be the host of COP30 in 2025. That will be the midpoint towards 2030, the goal of net zero deforestation by 2030. Well, at that point, we will be half the way through. And it's a question mark whether the global community will be on track or maybe not so much. What it is true is that Brazil is playing a very important role, as well as Indonesia, as well as other countries, in making sure we achieve our goal of stopping, halting, and reversing deforestation by 2030. Finally, to close this event, I want to repeat something that I know the colleagues here of IRI hear me saying time and time again. There are very few things, if any, more important than what you are doing now. You speak to people that we don't have a reach to. These are people that actually take the decisions on the ground about what we will do with this amazing, amazing ecosystem. So continue with that. You have the full support of the UN Environment Program. Thank you very much, Indonesia, for letting us have this event in your house. And thank you very much to you, the audience, for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Gabrielle, for leading the discussion. And before we all leave, please have a group photo together, shall we? Okay. You can put all the stuff on the chair, and we're going to have to take a group picture of all this all the national facilitators from 4 or 5 nations. Missing one, is it? Okay. Okay, we don't have the luxury of time, but we have the wealth of faith values that could driven the mindset and behavior towards the sustainable future, right? And everyone, like Carla said, or actually Gabriel said, please visit. Who said that before? Visit the pavilion, UNEP Pavilion, to immerse yourself in this virtual rainforest. Carlos, UNEP Pavilion. It's
This film will be the first film in the world 4D because you will see the forest, you will be inside the forest, you will hear the forest, and you smell the forest.
explore something that you've never seen before. Okay, we have a special token of appreciation to all the speakers for your contribution, and our one of our director from the Ministry of Fisheries, Marine Affairs and Fisheries, Republic of Indonesia, will be presenting our special note of thanks to all of you. Okay. Thank you. We have all the. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pahayu. Thank you, Blanca. Thank you, Laura, and as well as Carlos and Gabriel. I hope you can catch your time to go to your next agenda. Hopefully, you make it in time. Thank you very much for being here in our pavilion. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you. Sih kalau enggak aku juga udah main cabut siapapun itu pejabat yang ada. Berarti Pak masih bisa break kita Pak.